Ignite. CEDH.
Welcome to Ignite CDH, where we spark the conversation for CDH. My name is Joseph.
I'm Andrew.
I'm Kevin.
And today we're going to talk about some tournaments that we did over the weekend, some new avatar cards, and some chit-chat that we have going on with some intense questions coming from Andrew. But let's start off. How was everybody's weekend?
Mine was quick and easy. I played 3 games of Magic in the Critical ATLA League. Other than that, I was busy all weekend, so I kind of took a weekend off from Magic, but it was good.
I went to a tournament. I tried Blue Farm, and I'm on like a 4-tournament losing streak, all with Blue Farm. And now I'm really questioning if I play Blue Farm anymore. Take it to a next tournament. And then around the house, I've been busy sanding a whole bunch of trim, getting all this stuff off and put it over the nails, the grout. So I've been sanding that off, and it's a lot of trim. So I've been doing that for all of Sunday
Some
during
upgrades,
football.
nice.
Yeah.
I did the same tournament as Andrew. This was for the invitational points at the end of the year. I came 5th place overall, just barely missing out on top 4. And that did qualify me for the end of year tournament. So I will be playing with the other guys on December 6th in the 3K in Woodstock. So excited for that. Don't know exactly what I'm going to play, but it probably starts with K and ends with Rith.
We all get in like the semifinals pod, the 3 of us. That's going to be something.
It would be good money.
In this, I want to share the.
They
final.
also will stream it. They will probably stream that too.
Oh, nice.
Yes, because you and
they
I
streamed
were
it
in the
last year.
streamed semifinal one last year.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a fun time. In the 4th round, I was at 6 points at that point. I was hard losing that game. I convinced the table to take a draw. It was with 2 10-pointers who were locked no matter what, and another 6-pointer. And the math worked out if the other tables were came to the outcomes that we wanted to, that a 7-pointer will make it. I, at the beginning of the round, had a decently high opponent win percentage, and we all kind of thought that I would get the 4th place and the other guy would get 5th, and it just unfortunately turned out once stats came out, our opponent win percentage for round 4 got swapped, so I barely just missed out on top 4, which is fine. The guy who actually got in needed the points in order to try to qualify for the tournament in December, so I'm not like upset about it. It just would have been nice to win some prizing.
Yeah, you always want to go in with the intention of winning the tournament.
Oh yeah, but I walked into that tournament thinking, hey, I just need to get top 16 in a 17-person tournament. So
Yeah.
I was happy with that.
How many rounds did you go? 4 rounds, you guys said? Yeah.
It was 4 rounds, 17 players.
So I wouldn't have been able to make it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually done. It wasn't like too late when we got out, but
I had to be back in Cambridge for 4:30.
I think that was, yeah. I don't know when. It was probably around 4:30 when Andrew left after round 3. So fair enough. But yeah, so far a good weekend. I believe both of you are playing this weekend in Orangeville.
Plans this weekend actually changed.
Oh.
So yeah, surprise.
You're pregnant.
Yeah, that explains a lot. This weekend, I'm on call for work. There is a Tough Mulligans that I might try to do. On I think it's Saturday.
Yeah, that's this weekend.
Yeah, so I might try for that, and just I'm gonna talk to them and see how they would handle me like having to leave for a call and coming back. And then I'll probably get in an Avatar pre-release or 2. Not just because it's easy to play around with the schedule.
Yeah, that
So many
makes sense.
rounds in that Tough Mulligans. If you had to leave for a call, you just take the loss, come back.
Then that's what it is. I just want to make sure they're cool with, like, I might need to drop, like, if it's the middle of a 30-40 minute turn, to drop mid someone else's turn. And I don't really like doing that, but
Fair, yeah.
yeah.
In some cases, it's just played as though you were present for that turn. So like a judge that sits in your seat and just basically plays as though you're F6 in Moto.
You doing any tournaments this weekend, Andrew?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do both the Tough Mulligans since I'll just be around here with the kids, and then Orangeville since it's pretty close. And I might, since I've been doing so bad with Blue Farm, I was talking to Freedom Waffle, and you get something in the Discord, the Kinnan Discord, if you win an event, big enough event with Kinnan. It might be top four, winner top four, and I was too short of it on the last 2 and like 4. I think it was 54 and 58. The last Tough Mulligans earlier I played with Kinnan where I won them.
Yeah.
And that wasn't enough for the 64. It was like 58 or something. So I don't get some little thing in the Discord. So I'm gonna try. I might try to play Kinnan and try to get that.
The one I did, I think we had like 68. I think we would have made that.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot bigger. They started off small, and then the advertising they've get
big time.
Yeah. So now that I say that,
I might play.
Lose.
It really depends on how I feel. I'm getting a wisdom tooth removed on Thursday, so likely not wanting to do anything this weekend. Probably just take the weekend off.
There's no better time to play Magic than when you are like not sober.
Can't talk. Yeah.
That's
I play decks that have non-stop politicking. I play ATLA and Kenrith, all of which need to politic in order to win. I can't just win.
Imagine the gauze like falling out of your mouth as you're trying to talk to people.
I'll have all day Friday for recovery, and I could probably do the Sunday tournament because of that, but if I feel like shitty at all, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tough Mulligans is such a long tournament too. Like if I go to a rough start in it, I'll just drop out and we'll just.
I might just watch your guys' Tough Mulligans tournament, to be honest. And just chill and play like RuneScape or something.
It's not a bad weekend.
It's not a bad weekend. And it's a long weekend for me because I get to have Friday off.
Yeah,
medical. Seems like we all have a fun weekend coming up. Asterisks. Let's talk about some newer cards that were released for Avatar that weren't available last week when we talked, at least.
Yeah, so I went through and like looked at every new card in the sets. I pulled out a couple, and then Andrew pulled out one. Which one do you guys want to start with?
Just talk.
Let's see what's on my tab.
Foggy Swamp Visions. No?
I have. Let's just do Moonslayer. So Zaldin Moonslayer is a 1 red, 1 colorless creature, legendary human soldier, menace, non-basic lands enter tap, pay 7, put a Conqueror counter on Zal. As long as Zal has a Conqueror counter on him, non-basic lands are mountains.
This one,
is
an
interesting card. Go ahead.
I'm looking at this not so much for the Blood Moon effect. Like you don't want to ever pay 7 for that. I'm looking at it. Now I naturally think of Joyra, legendary creature, triggers Joyra, low mana cost. In a low, like maybe mono red, or an Izzet, a slower stacks your Izzet deck. If you have, because you're 2 colors, and you can go a lot of basics, there's just a critical mass of these with Moonslayer, non-basic lands coming in tapped, Winter Moon, back to basics, Blood Moon, and then the Blood Moon creature, Magus of the Moon. That's 5 non-basic land hates in Izzet. Like if you make an Izzet stacks deck, there's just so many of them. Like if you wanted to make a slower version of Joy or Weather like Captain with a lot of basics, a lot of these stacks effects, it would be an interesting deck.
I think it would work with like a Naya stacks deck as well.
Yeah.
Because it's a very like obviously Archon is better overall, but like Archon is the card I thought of immediately when you showed me this card, just because it has that non-basic lands enter tap. However, this is like the main thing I have issue with is it's a 2/2 that the Blood Moon effect is super expensive, like Kevin said, and it hits all non-basic land. So it hits your own, where Archon is one-sided, where it's only your opponent's control.
Yeah, I think it fits in
we
that
did
package.
mention. Sorry, go ahead.
Of like Winter Moon, a low color deck that you're just playing a lot of basics and you're slowing everyone down. Like you still want to, like I could envision a Joy or Weather like Captain where it's legendary and with it Winter Moon and you just those two pieces alone, it doesn't really slow your game plan down as much, but it just really impacts everyone else. Like there's enough of these now that it's interesting. That's why I just thought throw them in there.
Yeah, we did mention Toph could be a Stacks Naya deck, didn't we?
Yeah, Toph could be a decent Stacks Naya deck, and this might slot into that. However, like I said, when you're playing up to 3 colors, you really want your non-basic lands.
Yeah.
So having those enter tapped is going to slow you down a lot as well. So it's really tough to kind of feel like it slots in, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not super thrilled about it. I'm sure it could see play in certain decks. Like we have a local in Woodstock that plays Regavan, Lane Hate. I'm sure he would play.
Yeah.
Right?
There's
But
the
that is such a niche deck that not super relevant. The next card that we have on.
Should we give it a ranking? Like
one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let me look at the rankings. A 1. Yeah, I don't think.
It will be super fringe.
Yeah.
I'll say a 1 as well. Next card we have pulled up here. There wasn't like a huge good selection that we haven't already gone through.
I think we hit a lot of the main ones in the first episode.
Yeah. So the next card we have is Koi, the Face Stealer.
That's
legendary. Huh?
Is that how it's pronounced, Koi?
I think it's something like that.
You've seen the show, I haven't, so that's
the face.
It's been a long time since I remember hearing his name.
Sounds like it should be a clone.
Cool. It probably should be a clone, but it's
yeah, you're actually right.
It's kind of like a.
It's a little bit of a clone. It's more of a steal abilities than clone.
Yeah,
but...
I have not read the card yet, so
sorry.
Let me learn what this card does. Shapeshifter Spirit. When Koi enters the battlefield, exile up to one other target creature. Whenever another non-token creature dies, you may exile it. Pay 1 life. Choose a creature card exiled with Koi. Koi has all activated abilities, all activated and triggered abilities of the last chosen card. That is actually very thematic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really a cool build. This is a spirit in the spirit world that steals faces of his enemies. And throughout the episode that he's in, he goes through different faces and impersonates loved ones to kind of get more faces.
Okay. So it's a 5 out of 5 on the meme and theme score.
Yes. It feels like not a really good card. You said we were talking beforehand where...
Yeah, I could take it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to include this card. I don't think it's great. It is technically available as a commander. If you want some weird Necrotic Ooze in your command zone, I think Crick is just better. But I think this actually goes in Crick as a backup Necrotic Ooze.
That's what yeah.
This also, most of the Necrotic Ooze-like creatures don't do this. This one actually steals triggered abilities, which I missed on the on my first read-through of it. That's actually notable, because there's sometimes you want a triggered ability, and you just don't have access to it. The negative is it's much harder to set up with this card than it is with a Necrotic Ooze, where it's just in play and it has the abilities. You have to do the setup work of getting those cards exiled. But I think there's some backup play here. Yeah.
I see where you're coming from, and at the same time, I'm a little lost. So Necrotic Ooze has all abilities of creature cards in the graveyard, right? So in order for Ko to exile them, they have to be in play at that time. or die.
Or die, yeah. It
So-
requires different building around.
Yeah,
crit
you
does-
can't just entomb the card or...
No, it's more involved to get it out. But like, let's say I exile your Necrotic Ooze early, you now have a backup plan that still runs a lot of the same lines.
Yeah, it has like that nice redundancy where if this is in play, if your creature dies, they have to also worry about this creature.
There's
Yeah.
also 44 combos with this on EDH Rec. 2 and 3 card combos. So this is just, it's like a Hoarding Broodlord type of, this is going to go in so many combo decks.
This is gonna combo with a Stiff Breeze, absolutely.
Yeah, if you see this, just exile it, get rid of it.
It is definitely kill on sight.
Yeah.
Because you might not see it all the time, but when you see it, you know something's up.
Yeah, there's combos like, there's, this one's caught me. Necropotence, Villas, Broker of Blood, and Children, the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's infinite card draw, infinite draw triggers. There's
Yeah, because you just pay the life to swap between the two creatures.
this
Or just have one of
Prothean
them.
Altar and Macias the Unhollow. There's a lot of combos with this on here. Like I said,
Yeah.
but it's dangerous.
I think so. I wanted to include it because it has the combo potential. I think it's strongest as a backup, like I said, for Necrotic Ooze. You'll have to either go early in the line or have a way to pivot by reanimating cards out of your graveyard. Crick does that anyway. That's how Crick's combo works. I think if I had to give this a rating, as a commander, we're still kind of experimenting with our commander rankings. 0 has no CDH potential. 1 has future CDH potential, so there's interesting, unique commander player patterns, and it may become playable as new cards or strategies are printed or explored. Number 2 would be Fringe CDH, a deck that relies on expert knowledge or picking its spots very well, and probably doesn't protect itself very well, and can be stopped with common counterplay. So like Gwenum, Ral, Joyra, you can stop all of those just by killing the commander. Stuff like that. 3 would be Meta CDH. It can perform at tournaments fairly consistently and should be respected. It's probably missing one of the big 3 things where it protects itself or it's quick or what have you. Decks like ATLA and Rockthras are what I would consider a 3. And then a 4 is like a top of the meta deck. You're talking like a Blue Farm or Dockside Turbo. Something that like you're going to see a lot of tournaments and you need to play around it and build around it. So I think on that scale, this lands as a 2. It's got Fringe CDH potential. And on a regular, just in a deck, I think it's also a 2, actually. I think it'll be really good in Crick. I don't think it'll see a lot of play outside of that.
I was thinking it 2 as well. Mostly I see it more in the 99, not so much as a commander. I think 6
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
Might
seeing
be
it,
one as a
guys. Like,
commander.
I think it's still a 1 for me. Just 6 mana is a lot for this effect, and it has a lot of needing to play around it, right?
I mean, I
It's
think
just
I
hard
see
to
it
kind of see.
more of a reanimate target, and you just go, and, entomb, reanimate. But yeah,
It's possible. Like, I could be just missing it. So,
Yeah.
it is.
So is it 0 for you then?
Yeah, no, I see maybe 1, but I just don't see it. Like, it's nice as it's a 6 mana removal spell to me. It's like, and it's nice to have the ability. So, like, it's just like, if I'm playing this card, I probably want to remove my opponent's creatures, maybe not mine necessarily, with the enter the battlefield. And, like, what do I really want to remove from my opponent's field? Either their commander or ranger captain or something, and, like, a lot of those just are straight whiffs because they have to remain in exile or can be sacked. So it's like, maybe it's not... It's 6
Those
mana
aren't the
to...
only 2 activated abilities, and it's
Yeah, there's a
But I get
lot
what
more.
you mean. There's
for sure.
It requires a lot to go right. It might
Yeah.
require a lot to go right. Yeah.
I don't see it, but it's possible for sure. Like, I wouldn't be shocked seeing it in Crick. It's just 4 generic mana in Crick is tough, is what I think. Like, Crick really likes those black pips. But let's move on. Let's talk about our next card. Fire Nation's Palace. It's a land. It enters the battlefield tapped. Wait, this land enters tapped unless you control a basic land. I can't read, apparently. Add a red mana, or pay 2, pay a generic and a red, tap it. Target creature gains Firebending 4 until end of turn, which is whenever this creature attacks, add 4 mana. This mana lasts until end of combat.
I don't see how this does anything. There's a risk of it coming in tapped. Then you essentially have to pay 3 mana to make 4 mana. So you pay 3 to make 1 extra mana that only is there for combat.
Yeah, it's another fringe for me. I'll just be straight. This is a 1 for me. Yeah, 1. I think with the right commander, especially with Fire Lord Azusa, was it the one that you doubled your spells in combat? I think it could go well in that, or something that wants to pay mana to force infinite combats. It's also has just being like a ritual on a land. We've seen that be powerful with what's that green one, that the castle.
Garenbridge Castle or something. Castle Garenbridge.
Yeah, so we've seen stuff like this being able to ritual on a land actually be very very strong in the past. This is probably the weakest version of that, but I think it's still worth exploring as under that umbrella. That's all.
So it's probably fine in like a Ral-esque deck, maybe in a Tali, but having your land enter taps really deters both of those decks. And playing basics, I don't play basics in a 2-color Atali deck.
Really?
I don't think so. No, I don't. Just little point to. Like, I don't see. I want all my lands to enter untapped and give me both colors, pretty much.
Yeah.
Have an ability to come up.
Yeah.
The 4 mana is key for Thrasios activation hitting that point, but then you're in 3-4 colored decks. And
the Thrasios, you're like, if you don't play this in Rog Thras because you just make much more mana with any other land.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rog Thras is like kind of weird though, because it's like the only deck that I can think of that's a 3-color deck that plays basics intentionally.
But yeah, I think it's I don't think it's going to shatter the earth or anything. I just think because it follows the pattern of some other very good cards we've seen, it's worth keeping an eye on. It's a 1 for me. If you see it, your opponent's probably going to do something combo-y in combat. If you want to play it, it's probably going to be something combo-y in combat.
Yeah, for sure. Or it just needs mana ramp on instant speed. Like, I think Ral could use this pretty effectively.
Ral was in my thoughts when I brought this up. Yeah,
it's my main issue for Ral. Again, they don't play basics. It's like they might run 1 or 2 basics, sure, but it's like really not their
I think
goal
they're on
to
like
get them
17 lands or something sometimes.
Yeah, that as well. Like they don't have room for basics, I think.
The other thing about Ral is like it doesn't typically go off in combat, so you'd be like building Storm in combat and then coming out of combat, which is I guess they have Burgi, don't they? They
have
Burgi.
Instant speed spells in Burgi, yeah.
Yeah, so they have ways to keep the mana around.
Yeah. Okay, so our last card we have pulled up here.
Sorry, just 1 sec. That does remind me. There's that Electro guy. You don't lose red mana.
Yes, yeah. Electro would play this for sure.
That's significant.
You guys are just giving this a 1 or a 0?
Was it a 0? I'm gonna stay a 0. I don't. There's too much.
I think that your mana would leave with Electro just because the mana has that contingency that it lasts until the end of combat.
No,
so, really?
It lasts until, like, if something else lets it last further, it'll keep lasting further. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm still giving it a 0.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, we'll see when the set notes come out. They have it. I don't think they've dropped yet. But
I feel like it's not, but I could be wrong. I feel like Burgi mana also just goes away at the end of turn no matter what, but I could be wrong.
You guys can start the next one. I'm just going to look that up.
No worries. Yeah. So the last card we have pulled up here is Foggy Swamp Vision for a black, and 1 generic, and as additional cost to cast the spell, Waterbend X. While playing a Waterbend cost, you can tap an artifact or creature to help. Each one pays 1 generic. Exile X target creature cards from graveyards. For each creature card exiled this way, create a token copy of that of it At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice those tokens. That's a crit card if I ever heard of a crit card.
Yeah. I think this one's interesting. Just
this is an alternate. This is 100% an alternate Necrotic Ooze.
No, so Necrotic Ooze, the way Necrotic Ooze works is because you don't have Asmodeus on the battlefield, you don't have to adhere to its first ability of you can't, if you would draw a card, exile it instead and put it in your hand at the end. So you want it in the graveyard, but you still get back, you can get back a Necrotic Ooze, you can get back things from other people's graveyards. I think this spell has a lot of potential in CEDH.
Yeah, no, I think this could be an interesting card. I'm having trouble seeing it much past Crick right now, but it can definitely be playable. It's just you're highly relying on graveyards, which is not typically a bad thing to rely on, but it's still like, this card's not going to do much in the first couple turns of the game. This is like a win con in the end, like a meme betrayal type card.
I see the meme bet comparison. I think you can also just pull out like combos from other people's graveyards or just protection from someone else's graveyard. So like that's where this has a lot of potential in a deck like Crick that can't run Grand Abolisher. But if Crick kills your Grand Abolisher and then pulls it out of your graveyard, they now just have a Grand Abolisher. Hitting any graveyard is key for this for me. It only lasts for the turn you play it, so that's a downside, and it doesn't get haste, so you can't attack with it. But a lot of creatures, you just want them on the battlefield for their effect. And this is, I think, the most efficient way to pull them out. We've seen some Mass Reanimate in the past. What's the one from War of the Spark? You guys weren't around for it. Oh my god, I played in Liliana. One sec.
All I can think of is like Living End, but that's not what you're looking at.
No.
I think this card does have a lot of potential for a lot of black decks, especially ones that don't have blue, like Obnixilis and stuff. You kill.
The thing is, you can only waterbend for the X cost, so you can't pay mana in it. So you're also kind of relying on having creatures out, or artifacts, which is likely in CDH. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just like, how big is this waterbending really going to get?
Well, I think you only need one. Like, how many Voice of Victories, Ranger Captains, Grand Abolishers? You just need one dead. There's a lot of kill spells in black. You just take someone else's in a grave, and then you go off on protection on your turn. That's how I look at it. I think it's a good card.
Yeah, I think it, obviously reanimate, if you're just reanimated, one thing is better, but if you wanted, you need to mass reanimate things. Hold on, this also exiles them from the graveyard and makes a token copy. That is also, very notable against a blue farm or something. They now have no access to their Grand Abolisher on their combo turn, and you get a Grand Abolisher. I think, that's just enough to be there. It's probably a 2 for me. Really good in Crick or non-white decks to steal a stacks effect. But I don't think it's going to be, we're not going to see this in high color decks or anything like that, I don't think.
Yeah, nothing like that.
It could have some combo potential very much on its own, because you can return a bunch of things from your own graveyard as well.
It's going to suck for me. Because whenever I need to play Crick, I need to not put Warren Soul Trader in my graveyard.
Well, it is only sorcery too, which is important.
But still, if it, I have to either hold up 5 mana or not have it in my graveyard, which is just it's not a big deal, but it's just something I have to keep in mind. Because they have a lot of combos related to Warren Soul Trader.
Yeah.
Combos with half their deck.
Yeah, that was the last one, right?
Yeah. So, I would also rate it a 2. I think it's definitely the spiciest card we've seen. Here, it's definitely feels like it would go into Crick, and that kind of what qualifies it to be a 2.
Yeah.
I could see it going in some Rakdos decks. I don't think I would play it in
Obnixilis probably plays it.
I feel like I wouldn't play it in Obnix, but...
No? You don't think?
Nah, it just doesn't go with the Obnix game plan most of the time.
It doesn't exactly, but it does let you reanimate creatures if you want them for a turn. There's a and again, you get to, like, if you have a turn where Omnix lists are mostly Mr. Combat damage, I guess, so they're not really comboing. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Omnix might, like, Omnix can make a lot of mana and have a lot of extra mana, so it could just reanimate a bunch of things.
It's definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
So the next topic on our docket is, Kevin, you had an interesting situation over the weekend.
Yeah, so like I said, I played 3 critical CEDH League games. 2 of them, or one of them, 2 of them, I think 2 of them ended in losses. One of them was a draw. This is a draw we're going to focus on, because that draw could have ended up as someone else winning if we had properly communicated. So there was a player in seat 1 on some sort of combo deck. I can't remember exactly what one. Seat 2 and 3 are Blue Farm, and seat 4 is a the Esper commander lets you pay 3 life to cast an artifact from your graveyard. Esper player gets an Auriac Salvers out on their turn, but we have the other Blue Farm has a Mayhem Devil out, and I have a Smothering Tithe, so I have like 20 treasures. This game was crazy. This game featured Fish and Esper Sentinels. We had all had like mittfuls of cards, so we get to the player 1's turn, seat 1's turn, and they have a mitt full of cards, and they're very clearly going to go for it. They end up playing Ashaya, Nissa, and they have the Wirewood Symbiote on the stack, so they can go infinite. I think it was Wirewood Symbiote that goes infinite in that combo. They're about to combo and win. And seat 3 wants to force a draw, and I say we don't really need to draw here. I don't have any. I'm up front with them. I don't have any interaction in my hand, but I do have, like, we can. I was sure that I'd communicated we could combine to control his board and kill off his combo. He either didn't hear that or didn't process it, and we end up agreeing to a draw. And then I'm like, I kind of wanted to do a little social experiment and play it out for fun. And they all agreed. So we play it out. Seat 1 doesn't get there. Passes. Actually played a kind of a cool line with an extra turn spell in green. I wasn't expecting it. Gets to my turn. With the caveat that we were playing a little loose because it was already officially a draw. I end up messing up my combo line and get interrupted. Again, I didn't have any counter spells. Everyone knew that. So it goes to player 3's turn, who initially was the one pushing for the draw, and he ends up winning. And I've always, not always, but like I think we've discussed it on the podcast before, that I think people push for draws too quickly in tournaments, especially in this league. People will like see the slightest roadblock to their win, and they'll be like, "Oh, let's call it a draw. I'm gonna put this on the stack and try to force a draw." And I think that's just not. I don't know. I think that like this game's it's anecdotal. It's small sample size, etc., etc., etc. But this is an example where forcing a draw was not the right play for one player, and he was the one who wanted to force it initially. What are your guys' thoughts?
I'm kind of like I hate the idea of like forcing draws in a sense, but at the same time I do it because I need to, right? It helps me get further in my game plan. And what I would say with that comment specifically is Critical EDH League is in the Japanese format, where losses lose 7% of your points, which is a significant loss. Draws redistribute points equally among players. So if you go in as the lowest points and take a draw, you actually go up in points, where the highest player actually goes down in points because it gets redistributed evenly. You're not getting your own points back. And then a winner takes all in that case. It gets 7% of each player's points. So the main idea here is, like, you can say in hindsight it was the wrong choice for that player to force a draw, but he had a player who's going off. Then there was you with 20 treasures you met, and then it was him. So he was saying it's more statistically likely that I do not get a turn before I can win. And looking at that, I would probably say the same thing, looking at you with 20 treasures. I know you, so I know you probably wouldn't have been lying to me. And you did try to combo, so like it's a scary thing overall. It is hard to kind of take that. I would offer a draw trying to get my points back at a bare minimum instead of losing points. It's not a 0 point difference. You're losing 7% of your points, and I think that's a big difference, especially in critical EDH League. Now, in a normal tournament setting, like getting a draw, 1 point can make a difference. And I've showed that a lot in my last 3 tournaments. I've placed well just because I've taken good draws.
With me, with a draw, so in this tournament on the weekend, I had the choice of going for a win. I could have played it safe and kept my fish around. I let my fish die. I had a Thassa's Oracle in hand with Demonic Consultation, no counterspell, and an Adnaz in hand. And I had a Talisman. So I had the mana to do... I also had Dark Ritual. So I could do either Adnaz, nothing else, or Talisman, Thassa's Consultation. I chose to do the Thassa's route to try and win. Because there wasn't much blue at the table. Anyways, the Thrasios activates, gets a Pact of Negation to the top. He's debating whether he casts it. He has the mana to do it. He's way behind. He's kind of out of the game. He debates if he casts it. The table's good with a draw. I'm not. I said I'll let that resolve. Thinking next turn I'll just try to do my Adnaz, right? Anyways, he casts it. He stops my Thassa's Oracle. The game goes around a while. I've been getting hit with a Bowmaster's, like an 11/11 Bowmaster, so I'm trading Fairy Mastermind and all this stuff into it just to stay alive. Anyways, my Fairy Mastermind got shot, so I don't get a chance to Adnaz. There's a play at the table, but and then the other player wanted the draw, ends up taking it. So maybe in hindsight I should have taken the draw, but I try not to take a draw unless it's the last possible, like nothing else. You know what I mean? Like you're out.
Like you take a draw when it's advantageous to you, and I think in the scenario there was a more likely chance he wouldn't get a turn than actually winning that game, and it turns out it was a wrong choice. But hindsight's 20/20, and we all have bad vision. Except for Andrew. Andrew has good vision.
Andrew's got perfect vision. Yeah, look at those beautiful eyes. But I also just have the predisposition of not wanting, like, I have the bias, basically, of not wanting people to go to good draws. Like, technically it's better in the tournament if I lose, but I'm also much more likely to make a risk to try and take a win. And I think that's where that comes from for me, is I'm willing to risk losing. It's one thing if, like, the wins on the stack, they offer the draw. Sure, I'll normally agree to that then. But, like, we were still early in the combo, and we had a way to interrupt the combo. And we had resources on board. Like, there was no guarantee it was going to go to the point where we couldn't interact. And that, for me, is where, like, I am always willing to take a risk to try and... like get there. That comes from like playing sports a lot of my life. Is like you like in sports you need to take those risks like in the second, right? You don't have time to sit there and be like, well, I mean, I could die for this ball, but if I die for it, it gets past me, and I miss it, gets past me. But if I play it safe, then right, there's no time to do that. In
question for you.
Yeah.
So, who was the person who offered you the draw? Was the person who stopped you from comboing?
Yes. Yeah, so he even had, like, this control stuff in hand. Now, he may not have. He did have a fish on the battlefield, I think, but...
So he drew into it, probably.
He may have, he may not have. I'm not sure what his hand was.
Fair enough. Maybe he saw that was his best out. I don't blame him. I probably would have done a similar thing if I thought I was losing. And I've done that in the past. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking convincing people to take a draw, and like it's like when you mulligan, you should never look at the top card of your library because
always
it's
do.
always the card you want. I know.
Always look at the
we
top
always
card of
do.
my library, and I'm not like, oh, I'm so smart, but I don't let it influence my next decision.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't ever. If my hand is not good, I'm not keeping the hand. Like, I'm not going to gamble on keeping one land hand for a second land. But yeah, so I think it's an interesting thing. I think it also very depends on the tournament type. Like, taking a loss in a multi-round American format is a lot easier to do than taking a loss in a Japanese format.
This is a perfect segue to lead me into overreaction topics, if you guys are ready. Next tournament, the one in Orangeville, it's the Japanese format.
Oh yeah.
So in tournaments where draws are not allowed, like our next tournament, unless you are a turbo or breach deck needing to cast this card from a breach line, you should cut Pact of Negation for a different piece of interaction.
Oh, if you're not a turbo deck?
If you're not like a breach deck, if you don't have breach in your deck, get Pact of Negation out of it.
Okay, can you give me an example of a deck that you know I've played
Kinnan.
before?
You don't have breach in Kinnan, get Pact of Negation out of your deck.
I disagree then. Using that example, I think Pact and Negation is it helps your combo. Your combo deck, even in Kinnan, it's a combo deck. It can protect your combo. And Kinnan also, as this specific deck example, makes a lot of mana, so it doesn't usually have a trouble paying for Pact. So I would say no. You thinking of like another example, like most decks in CEDH combo, and they typically do it on your turn. And Pact is one of the best counterspells to use on your turn, because it's not going to, if you're winning, you're winning. If you're losing, you're losing. Like, there's no in between. It's nice to force a draw, sure, but I've almost never used a Pact to force a draw. I use Pact to, it's a free counterspell to help me win. So I don't think it's cuttable because it has that lovely 0 in the top right corner.
I'm gonna disagree with you here, Joseph.
With me. When you say cut
you.
Pact?
I think it heavily depends on your deck.
Sure.
Like Roxai, quick combo deck, any quick combo deck, you definitely want Pact. Because it's what your use case for Pact is. Your use case in that case is to force through a win on your turn, and if you don't win that turn, you're probably dead anyway, so the Pact trigger doesn't matter. If you're a much slower deck, so like when I was playing Azami doesn't run Pact of Negation.
Sure.
Because we want to use our mana on our turn to develop a board, and we want to be able to interact early in the game. So we had another piece of interaction in there. Now we had like 20 counterspells or something, but we had different pieces of interaction in there to handle comboing, or to handle other combos for still cheap. But yeah, for me it heavily depends on the deck you're playing.
Sure. Can you name a non-fringe deck that you would cut Pact?
Sure. Yeah, give me a second. Take a look at EDH top 16.
I'm just curious if you could find a fringe deck.
Reason.
Like your, I would consider cutting in Kenrith. I would run it in turbo, but I would consider cutting it in the mid-range or control version of the list.
Here's my point. Kenrith is a combo deck. It is combo dot deck. It's
yeah, but
that
you
is
also
the
combo
point.
on the stack. You combo with activated abilities and triggered abilities.
I get that, but it still protects my pieces coming out. Like, it protects a training grounds, so I can activate Kenrith to reanimate Composite Golem. It protects my creatures that I need to cast to, like Warren Soul Trader or Chatterfang. I am a combo deck first and foremost, and I think, yes, I am an instant speed combo deck because I could reanimate at any point, but I still have sorcery spells that I need to get out in order to start a combo. And I also make big mana in Kenrith. Like, I typically have more than 5 mana, so paying for a Pact in the worst case scenario sucks 100%, but it is possible. But I'm never using. I think in your guys' mind is a counterspell. I don't see it as a counterspell. I see it as a Veil of Summer for a single spell. I think it helps me protect my
call
stuff.
those counterspells.
They don't call Veil of Summer counterspells. It's called
No, but a
protection
Veil of
spell.
Summer that stops one spell is a counterspell.
Sure. But I'm just saying, I use it to protect my stuff. I don't use it to typically as a stop an opponent from winning. Now it has that upside that it has that possibility. And losing is better than losing is worse than paying 5 mana 100% of the time.
What about in TNT? Does it run it? Would you run it at
TNT has run it. Again, it's a big mana deck. It doesn't care.
I would consider cutting it in Kafka. Again, it's just a control deck where you wanna put cards on the board. I don't
That's
like.
a
I'm not saying it
possibility,
should be cut
sure.
from every deck, but I think there's definitely decks where you want to interact early, but you won't have that mana to pay.
Yeah, I just have trouble finding a deck in CDH that
Yeah,
isn't a combo, isn't turbo, and isn't big mana. Like, that's the three.
I do think it's a little more narrow than the question puts, just because there's some nuance to what deck you're playing.
Yeah.
But there's definitely times where you can cut Pact of Negation.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's an uncuttable card. I'm just saying, in most cases, I'm not cutting.
I think because people also see it as free interaction, they just put it in without thinking about their strategy. And
Yeah,
I think that's incorrect. I think you when you put a card in, you said, does this fit the strategy? The whole point of CDH, especially in the early beginnings, was that like one of the emphasis, and I think they mentioned this in the first iteration of brackets, is that every card contributes to your plan. If your plan is interrupting combos early and then going off late when it's safe, then that's not part of your plan. You can't pay when you're on turn 2 unless you've heavily ramped like a turbo deck, and then you should be playing turbo.
Yeah. Okay. And do you have another question there, Andrew?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
More speculation. With the Dockside reprint, at some point next year, not only is Dockside coming back to Commander, but also Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus.
That is 3 questions in one, sir.
I don't think Dockside comes back. Jeweled Lotus, I think, has the highest chance to come back, and I don't think Mana Crypt comes back. It's not properly balanced for the format. I think we get Jeweled Lotus back because their intention was that they wanted to slow down decks. But all they did was, like, quick decks with cheap commanders still play their cheap commanders quickly. Jeweled Lotus was just one of 15 tools for them to do that, but you get expensive commanders, 6, 7, 8 drops, where Jeweled Lotus was, like, imperative getting them down much quicker to their game plan. I think we get Jeweled Lotus back. I don't think we get Dockside back. I don't know what they're thinking with that reprint. They do design sets up to 2 years out, and Universes Beyond is probably more.
Bingo. So Dockside was banned last year. It's been just over 1 year ago. Set design is typically a 2-year process that was revealed to us a couple years back. It typically takes 2 years to process a set, right?
And it's longer for Universes Beyond. It's up to 3 years.
Sometimes it's longer because there's licenses and stuff like that they have to go through. The Dockside ban was happened by the Commander Council, which Wizards of the Coast had no part of whatsoever at that time, which means they did not know Dockside was going to be banned, and they probably did not. They probably already had that set in ready to print mode. So I would say Dockside being banned is a 0.01% chance.
What about Mana Crypt and Jeweled Lotus? What do you think on those two?
Jeweled Lotus I want back. I think it's like it helps the bigger mana cost decks. With like I would love it back in Natali. Like I would 100% be running more Natali and stuff like that.
Kenrith. And
Kenrith, I would play it in Kenrith for sure. I would probably rebuild Obnix. I feel Obnix.
Obnix is way better with it, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. My Talion deck would be way better with it as well. Like those are, I think 4 mana decks, 5 mana decks, and 7 mana decks become a lot more appealing with the unban of Jeweled Lotus. I think looking at Jeweled Lotus itself, it is not really legal in any format that it can be played in, positively.
Yeah, there was a thing when it came out about the bannings. There was like a fringe legacy deck that played it or vintage, but it wasn't like a good version of the deck.
Yeah,
They just played it as a
I
free
think you could
artifact.
still play it in what Brawl has commanders in it.
I think it hurt a lot of the 4 mana 2-color commanders. Urza, Winota, Omnixless, Joyra, there's Talion. So many that it hurt the health of the format actually losing that card. It took out a lot of the diversity of those card decks.
Yeah,
I agree.
But in casual, I 100% agree that it is a problem. But I think implementing the commander bracket system fixes that issue. I put that as a game changer, and it helps a lot. It brings, even if your playgroup doesn't play with commander brackets, it's still a recognizable card to have a Rule Zero conversation around, right? Like, it is not untalkable.
I think part of the problem is that it was very hyped in a very widely well received and widely open set, and it was the chase card of that set. So people got it and they just wanted to jam it in their commander decks. That's part of the problem with them reprint. I'm very pro reprint. I think we've been over that on the show. But part of the negative side of reprints, like you get Rhystic Study reprints. Oh, I opened a Rhystic Study. I'm going to put it in my deck. Well, your deck is like played with people who play precons. It's the only card you're changing in your precon is going to dominate that game. You know, you open that Jewel Lotus and suddenly your Dragon is 5 mana, 6 mana instead of 9. You know, you're going to put it in that deck. I think that's where the problem lies, is people just opening it and being excited and playing it, which is good. That's exactly how Magic was designed to be, like back to the beginning. But having these like these cards be reprinted and come out as chase card is part of the reason why they see playing casual play when they shouldn't.
Yeah. Hopefully
for Mana Crypt, I don't see that coming back. 0 mana for 2 mana immediately is really strong. Downside of 3 life is not a downside. That's 13 turns of mana. Like, that's kind of busted. And yes, there's an argument, but Soul Ring's in the format, which is arguably probably better than Mana Crypt, but I don't think having both in a format is healthy.
Soul Ring
one or the other.
Brainstorm in Legacy. They're never going to ban Brainstorm in Legacy. They're never going to ban Soul Ring in Commander.
Yeah, and
it's
having two Soul Rings in a deck is significantly worse than just having 1 Soul Ring.
So I actually played an event. It was not a Wizards event, where we got to bid on Commander decks to play a Commander game. But if you got 2 decks, you could combine the decks. So I asked the guy running it, like, if I get 2 decks, can I run 2 Soul Rings? He's like, yep. So I got to play 2 Soul Rings and drew both of my Soul Rings early in the game, and I ran away with it. It wasn't even close.
It's busted, right?
It's so good.
So yeah, I think Dockside's not getting unbanned. I'm sorry, Andrew. I know you love it.
I love Dockside too. I think I just also
it's just because Universes Beyond is, I believe, a 3-year process to make. They probably had that already printed, and then Dockside got banned.
Mm-hmm.
And like, Dockside is also technically playable in other formats. They're not going to see play, but it's like, it's fine to have in Standard, it's fine to have in Modern. It's not a busted card unless it's in a multiplayer form.
Yeah, just want to give a quick update on the tournaments we have coming up. Saturday the 15th is Tough Mulligans. It's an online tournament, free entry. There's about $400 in USD pricing for the top 4. It is a long day, but it's online, so you get to do it from the comfort of your home. The second tournament coming up is Sunday the 16th. It's Fantasy Forged in Orangeville. They're playing the Japanese format, but they have equal distribution for draws, which is not normal for the Fantasy Forged tournament, but they're trying it out, and I like that, so that's good. It is $30 cash, and noteworthy for this tournament and the 15th, Tough Mulligans, is Avatar should be legal for both tournaments. Tough Mulligans actually confirmed it. They've had a post on their page. Fantasy Forge, the last time there was a pre-release the same weekend, the cards were legal. So I would prepare as if the cards are legal. If you have any questions, contact the store. They'll be the ultimate authority on it, but that's just how they've done it in the past. Next up, Saturday the 22nd is Nerds in Woodstock. It is the last chance to qualify for the year-end tournament. So if you have no points, you need to win to qualify. This gives you 10 points, which is what the qualifier is. If you have anywhere from 9 to, I think, 5.2, you can still qualify. You'll just need to do well based on performance. $30 cash to enter, $40 store credit. All of these we've talked about so far have been full proxies allowed. Next up, Sunday the 23rd, is Forbes Hobbies in Cambridge. It's growing, but we're still trying to get it out, so you probably won't have a lot of competition, but you will have a good time. Every time we've been able to fire and get a pod going and give out prizing. It's $40 cash. All entry is submitted into prizing. There is a proxy limit, it's 10 proxies, and if we hit the cap of, I think, 28 players, then we'll be giving away an Alliance's Force of Will, which is fun. The next weekend, Friday the 28th to the Sunday the 30th, is Frenzy at the Falls. That's a big tournament in the US. If you really want to test your mettle, you can go to that tournament. I won't be going. I'm not sure on the other guys. But the best of the best should be there. Okay, and the last one we have on the docket is Saturday the 29th. Gamebridge is hosting a two-headed giant tournament. They are $30 entry per person. So because two-headed giant, I believe you have to pay for two people, so it should be $60. Prizing is top team gets $100 each. Second place gets $50 each, but they do say they're subject to increase that based on attendance. I wasn't there last time they did this structured payout, so I don't know exactly how much they plan on increasing things or playing with things. They are also a 10 proxy limit per team, so you can't do 10 and 10, but you can do any numbers that add up to 10 between you and your teammate. On December 6th, we have the Dual Land tournament in Cordis, but we'll put more information in that next time.
Well, thank you guys, everybody, for watching Ignite CDH. If you please drop a follow, subscribe, and hit a like button, that would be fantastic. Join our Discord, it's linked below. Follow us on our social medias. I believe we have a Blue Sky, Twitter, or X, Facebook, and I don't remember what else we have. Moxfields also are probably going to be posted below. And thank you for joining us. See you next week on Ignite CDH.
So that Legends of the Lair event actually apparently went pretty well, and was actually won by a local guy. He went into a finals pod with Shadow. I'll pull it up here. There's only one other blue deck, and he pushed on turn 2 with ATLA and won.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I might play ATLA.
Sorry?
If I play this weekend, I might play ATLA, but I also have... so my friend played a very similar list to my Kenriff, and won his local tournament, which was really cool.
Nice. So it was Shadow, Atali, Obnix, and Kinnan in C4. Started off with Ancient Tomb, Talisman, and a Gamble for a Treason Stoker.
That would do it.
Put the win on the stacks turn 2 with no interaction.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
As long as you hit, but it's pretty likely to hit.
Kevin, I made a huge mistake at the tournament.
Oh, did you? Hey, Joe. Can you hear us?
So there was this one game I got eliminated, right?
Okay.
The guy is going an Underworld breach line, and the rest of the table, he asked right at the start, it was a tight line, and he's like, do you want me to play this out or just, do you concede? And the guy's like, they think about it, why don't you play it out? So he plays it out, he uses it all, and he's about to cast Brain Freeze, I believe.
Okay.
Or I think he shows it in there. And there's, before they do it, there's no LED or no pedal in there, and he's out of mana, no blue mana. The storm count is high on the Brain Freeze, and before they resolve it, they're like, they're like, I guess we give it to you. And because I was out of the game, that was my game. So if it goes to a draw, there's like, this is at the time on turns, right? So there's not going to be anything else. And they're like, yeah, we concede. And I said, are you sure? It's like, I forget exactly what I said. Something along the lines of, are you sure? Or there's no, I didn't say what there wasn't in this thing. But because I said that, and it was influencing the players in the game, I got a match loss from it.
Jared has been very tight about if you're not in the game and if you're a dead player and not in the game, you should not be talking about the game.
Yeah, he always said, I wasn't sure what the thing was. He was nice about it at that.
Yeah, he likes you. Like, you're a good player. You win a lot there. It just, he has to maintain a consistency, right? Like,
yeah,
you can't just let you get a bye this time. And to be fair, it was irrelevant to you. You couldn't get into top 4 even if you won your third round. You had 0 points, if I recall correctly, or had 6.
well,
1.
if I had a draw there, that would have given me 2 points, and then a win would have put me in.
No, it wouldn't. I didn't get in with a 7 points.
Well, not for sure, but a chance, right?
Yeah.
Like you would have had a chance.
So, yeah, sure. It's always a possibility.
For the tournament, like, I underperformed. Blue Farm hasn't been doing well for me, so I'm thinking my next tournament will be either Kinnan or Joyra playing. I'm going to give Blue Farm a break. Sounds lucky. Kids never saw me.
Nice.
Like,
Ninja
they usually ask for something. Like, there's, that was... All right, let's do the intro, then I'll put this in.